What if I told you that the pain you've been carrying, your illness, your anxiety, your emptiness, is not a life sentence, but a message? It is not a punishment, but a signal from your body and soul begging you to listen. These sensations, the heaviness, the racing thoughts, the fatigue that lingers even after rest, are alarms. They are your system's way of saying, you've drifted too far from your source. The same force that made you, that keeps your heart beating and your cells alive, has been calling for you to come home. Somewhere along the way, you stopped hearing it. You were taught to look outside for help, for cures, for validation, while the real medicine was always inside you. There is a living intelligence in you, ancient, sacred, precise. It exists in every cell, in every breath, in every spark of awareness. It knows how to heal. It knows how to balance. It knows how to return you to peace. But this intelligence has been silenced by noise, by fear, by systems that profit from your pain. You were made to believe you are powerless, when in truth you are an entire universe of light waiting to be reawakened. Today, I am not here to give advice or tell you what to believe. I am here to help you remember the keys that awaken your inner healer, the sacred knowledge that has lived within humanity since the beginning of time. The first truth is that the most powerful healing tool you possess costs nothing and is already with you. Your breath, not the shallow, quick breath that keeps you in survival, but the full, deep, rhythmic breath that connects your body and your soul. Breath is your bridge between the visible and the invisible. On one side is your physical self, your body, your organs, your pain. On the other is your consciousness, your energy, your awareness, your life force. When you breathe shallowly, that bridge becomes congested, and your energy can't flow where it needs to go. Your cells don't receive enough oxygen or vitality. Your mind becomes restless, your emotions unstable, and your body begins to suffer. The ancients knew this long before science proved it. They understood that breath is the rhythm of life itself. When your breath is chaotic, your mind becomes chaotic. When your breath is calm, your mind becomes clear. Deep breathing tells your body that it is safe. It turns off the internal alarm system, lowers stress hormones, and signals your cells to start repairing instead of defending. Each slow breath is a message to your body. You can rest now. You are safe to heal. So pause. Inhale slowly through your nose, allowing your belly to rise. Hold for a moment. Exhale softly through your mouth. With each breath, you're not just taking in air, you're taking in life, light, and power. Breathing deeply is not a simple act of survival. It's the first act of self-reclamation. But the breath alone is only part of the awakening. After calming your body, you must calm your mind. Every thought you think is not harmless background noise. It is creation in motion. Each thought sends chemical signals through your body, shaping your emotions, your hormones, and even your immune system. Your mind is a garden, and your thoughts are seeds. What you plant will grow, whether you nurture it or not. When you fill your mind with worry, fear, and self-criticism, you are planting poison in the soil of your soul. You might not see it immediately, but the roots grow deep, twisting themselves into anxiety, illness, and despair. But when you choose thoughts of hope, gratitude, and possibility, you are planting medicine. You are giving your nervous system a new rhythm, your brain new connections, and your body new instructions to heal. This isn't fantasy. It's biology. Modern science now calls this neuroplasticity, the ability of your brain to change its wiring based on what you focus on. Every time you replace a thought of fear with one of trust, a thought of lack with one of abundance, you are literally changing your brain structure. You are writing new patterns, sending new chemical signals, and sculpting your biology with your mind. Your thoughts are not passive. They are creative forces. A thought of love strengthens your immune system. A thought of anger raises your blood pressure. You are never neutral. Every moment, you are shaping the state of your body with the focus of your mind. Yet there's a hidden barrier that keeps most people trapped in pain, even when they practice positive thinking. Deep inside, they still feel unworthy. You can breathe deeply, repeat affirmations, meditate every morning. But if you secretly believe you don't deserve peace, your body will resist it. Healing cannot bloom in soil poisoned by self-rejection. You cannot heal a body you hate. You cannot bring peace to a mind you constantly criticize. The war you wage against yourself keeps your nervous system locked in defense mode, as if it's fighting a constant threat. But the threat is not the world. It's the way you speak to yourself. The stress of self-attack has the same effect on your body as physical danger. It floods you with stress hormones, weakens your immunity, and blocks your natural repair systems. The remedy is the simplest and hardest of all. Self-love, not vanity, not ego, but reverence. To love yourself is to see yourself as sacred, to treat your body as a temple, to honor your imperfections as proof that you are human and growing. It means forgiving yourself for the mistakes you've made and seeing them as lessons rather than punishments. It means speaking to yourself with gentleness instead of judgment. When you do, your body feels safe again. The moment your body feels safe, healing begins. Every morning, look into your own eyes in the mirror, not to criticize, but to connect. Say softly, I approve of myself. I deserve to heal. At first, it might feel awkward or false, but with time, these words will sink into your cells. They will rewrite your inner dialogue, teaching your nervous system that it is safe to rest. Science shows that when you practice self-compassion, your cortisol levels drop, your heart rate steadies, and your immune system grows stronger. The war within you ends, and your body finally has the peace it needs to repair. As you begin to love yourself, your choices start to change. You begin to see food not as comfort or distraction, but as nourishment. Every meal becomes a moment of sacred connection. Eating is not just physical, it's spiritual. It's the act of transforming sunlight, earth, and water into life within you. But most people eat in a state of distraction, rushing, scrolling, worrying. In that state, your body can't digest properly. No matter how healthy the food is, your cells absorb your emotional state along with your meal. So before you eat, pause. Take 3 deep breaths. Look at your food with gratitude. Feel thankful for the journey it took to reach your plate. The soil, the rain, the hands that harvested it. Eat slowly. Be present with each bite. Notice the texture, the temperature, the flavor. This simple mindfulness changes your chemistry. Your body digests more efficiently. Your blood sugar stabilizes, and your anxiety calms. You stop eating out of habit or emotion and start eating out of respect. When you honor your food honors you. Healing, however, isn't built on one big decision. It's built on the hundreds of small choices you make every day. It's in your routines, your habits, your rituals. True transformation comes from consistency, not intensity. You don't have to climb mountains. You just have to take one faithful step at a time. The body doesn't heal through grand gestures. It heals through rhythm. Your daily actions are like the riverbed that guides the current of your energy. If the path is blocked with chaos, sleepless nights, stress, neglect, your life force can't flow freely. But each small act of care smooths the way. Honoring your sleep, taking a quiet walk, breathing before reacting, expressing gratitude before bed. These are not small things. They are the daily prayers through which healing moves. When you begin to live with rhythm, sleeping when the earth sleeps, waking with the sun, moving your body with joy instead of punishment, you return to the harmony you were born with. The drop of water that falls again and again shapes the stone. In the same way, your small daily rituals shape your reality. And yet, even with better routines and self-care, many people still feel empty. They meditate, they eat well, they sleep enough, but something feels missing. That emptiness is not failure. It's the longing of your spirit to reconnect with the greatest source of healing that exists, the earth itself. You are not separate from nature. You are nature. Every atom in your body once belonged to the stars, the oceans, the soil. You are made of the same elements that give birth to trees, rivers, and sunlight. But the modern world has pulled us away from that truth. We live in concrete rooms, wear rubber shoes that insulate us from the ground, breathe recycled air, and stare at screens that mimic the sun. We've forgotten the simplest medicine of all: contact with the earth. The earth is alive, pulsing with a frequency called the Schumann resonance, the heartbeat of the planet. For most of human history, we lived in sync with it. We slept on the ground, walked barefoot, touched trees, bathed in rivers. Our bodies were harmonized with the planet's rhythm. But now we've cut that connection, and our systems are out of tune. That disconnection creates stress, fatigue, and inflammation. The way back is simple. Take off your shoes, stand barefoot on grass, soil, or sand for a few minutes each day. Feel the ground under you, the coolness, the pulse, the quiet. As you do, your body begins to exchange energy with the earth. You absorb negative ions, tiny charges that neutralize inflammation and restore balance. This practice, known as grounding, reconnects your internal rhythm to the planet's natural frequency. It's like plugging yourself into a charger made of light. You are an electrical being living on an electrical planet. When you reconnect to the earth, you remind your body what harmony feels like. You calm your heart, clear your mind, and strengthen your immune system, all by returning to the simplicity of your origins. Healing doesn't come from adding more to your life. It comes from removing what disconnects you from life itself. So breathe deeply, think gently, love yourself fiercely, eat with gratitude, move with intention, rest with reverence. Touch the earth with your bare feet. You are not broken. You are remembering. You are returning to what you were always meant to be: whole, radiant, alive, and free. Nature itself is a living medicine. The air of the forest carries tiny healing compounds released by trees called phytoncides. When you breathe them in, they enter your body and strengthen your immune system, helping your cells function at their best. Gentle sunlight, when absorbed with care, creates vitamin D, vital for hundreds of processes within your body, and keeps your inner rhythm balanced, guiding your sleep, energy, and mood. Even the soft sound of flowing water or the wind through the leaves calms the mind and relaxes the nervous system in ways no artificial sound ever could. The beauty of this healing is in its simplicity. Yet we often overlook it because it feels too simple. We seek complicated solutions while the earth patiently waits for us to return. Time in nature should not be another chore or an escape. It is a reunion, a return to your original home. Leave your phone behind. Let the noise of the world fade. Walk without direction. Sit beneath a tree and feel its grounded strength holding you steady. Watch clouds drift slowly across the sky. Listen closely to the layers of silence that are never truly silent. The hum of insects, the whisper of the wind, the heartbeat of life around you. You don't need to do anything. Just exist. Let the energy of the earth move through you, cleansing, soothing, and recharging every part of you. When you reconnect with the earth, you align yourself with the original rhythm of creation. Your thoughts slow down, your body relaxes, and your emotions find peace. You begin to move in harmony with something vast and intelligent. Every routine, every task starts to flow more naturally because you are no longer forcing life. You are moving with it. This deep alignment fills you with clarity, strength, and a quiet joy. And from this place of wholeness, you are ready to open your heart to the next great teaching. Gratitude. Gratitude is far more than polite manners or empty words. It is a powerful spiritual frequency, a living force that can reorganize matter and shift your entire biology. Most suffering begins in the mind's habit of focusing on what's missing. Gratitude is the medicine that reverses this pattern. It teaches you to see what is already good, already present, already working in your favor. Think of your mind as a radio station. Most of the time, it's tuned to the frequency of lack, fear, and worry. It keeps scanning for what's wrong, what's missing, what might go wrong next. Gratitude is you turning the dial. It's the decision to tune into a higher frequency, the frequency of abundance. You start noticing the things you once took for granted, the air that fills your lungs, the steady beat of your heart, the light through your window, the roof that shelters you, the presence of a friend, the taste of clean water. This isn't wishful thinking. It's science. Every emotion you feel emits an electromagnetic signature. Fear and anger create chaotic, disordered energy in your body. Gratitude, on the other hand, produces one of the most harmonious and balanced energy fields known. Researchers at the Heart Math Institute discovered that when a person feels genuine gratitude, their heart rhythm becomes smooth and synchronized. This wave of coherence spreads throughout the body, optimizing every organ, calming the nervous system, and strengthening the immune system. When you feel thankful for the health you still have, even in moments of illness, you shift your energy from sickness toward healing. You stop identifying with pain and begin aligning with the life force that wants to restore your balance. The universe does not respond to the words you say. It responds to the vibration you emit. When you radiate gratitude, you become a magnet for more reasons to be grateful, for love, for peace, for healing, for miracles. Gratitude transforms your entire field of energy. The practice is simple but deeply transformative. Each night before you sleep, take a notebook and write 3 specific things you are grateful for that day. Not vague generalities, but real details. I'm grateful for the laughter I shared with a stranger. I'm grateful for the warmth of sunlight on my skin. I'm grateful for the food that nourished me today. By doing this daily, you train your brain to seek out goodness. Your focus begins to shift naturally from what is missing to what is abundant. You start to wake up noticing beauty everywhere, even in ordinary moments. Gratitude also opens your heart, and an open heart is the doorway to higher consciousness. As your heart becomes coherent, You begin to live in a state of balance between body, mind, and spirit. You stop chasing what you think you need and realize that everything you truly require already exists within and around you. Gratitude shows you that you are already enough, that life itself is already a gift. This realization gives you the courage to let go of the illusions that cause suffering, the false identities, fears, and attachments of the ego. You begin to see how you built invisible walls around yourself, thinking they would protect you, only to find they became your own prison. The good news is that you have always held the key. The moment you awaken gratitude in your heart, those walls start to crumble. The ego no longer has the same hold because gratitude keeps you connected to your true self, the part of you that sees life as a miracle instead of a threat. Gratitude softens the edges of your perception. It makes you humble enough to learn, gentle enough to love, and wise enough to understand that every experience, even pain, carries a hidden blessing. Through gratitude, you begin to see divine order behind what once looked like chaos. You realize that every challenge is secretly guiding you back toward your higher self. As your awareness deepens, you see that nature and gratitude are not separate. They are mirrors of the same truth. Both reconnect you to the sacred rhythm of existence. Both remind you that you belong to something far greater than your individual story. When you breathe in the forest air or watch the sunrise, you're not just observing beauty, you are participating in it. You are exchanging energy with creation itself. And when your heart vibrates in gratitude, you send that energy back into the world, amplifying harmony for all beings. The more you live in this awareness, the more natural it becomes to give thanks, not as an effort, but as your very way of being. Gratitude stops being a practice and becomes your state of consciousness. You wake with it, you walk with it, you speak from it, and as this frequency anchors within you, you begin to notice how life responds. Relationships heal, ideas flow, opportunities appear, and the body feels lighter. Gratitude is not only spiritual, it is practical alchemy. It turns what you have into enough, and what you touch into gold. When you rest in this state, you become unshakable. Gratitude connects you to the wisdom of your heart, where faith replaces fear and peace replaces striving. It is from this deep coherence that the next great transformation begins. The liberation from the ego, the return to the pure consciousness that is your true nature. You are now ready for this next step. The path that began in the stillness of the forest, that moved through the rhythm of the earth and the heartbeat of gratitude, now led you toward your greatest freedom. The ego is not who you are. It is a temporary mask built from fear and survival. Gratitude weakens its grip by reminding you of what is real. And from this grounded place, your body calm, your heart open, your energy aligned, you begin to remember the truth. You are already whole, already one with the divine life that breathes through all things. The ego is something we began to build in childhood as a way to survive. It was never our true identity, but rather a mask we created to feel safe, accepted, and loved in a world that often demanded us to be something other than ourselves. When we were young, we learned that certain behaviors brought approval and others brought rejection, so we shaped ourselves around those reactions. Over time, this false identity grew stronger and more complex until we started believing it was who we truly are. We forgot that it was only a mask, a defense we once created to protect the most vulnerable parts of our soul. The ego is that constant voice in the back of your mind that compares, defends, criticizes, and fears. It needs to be right, to look good, to feel superior, to control outcomes, and to be seen as important. It survives by comparing itself to others and measuring its worth against the outside world. It whispers that if you could just achieve one more goal, win one more victory, earn one more form of recognition, then you'd finally feel at peace. But the truth is, the ego never stops chasing because it feeds on dissatisfaction. The more you give it, the more it wants. It's like running on a treadmill that never ends. No matter how hard you try, the finish line keeps moving. Living under the rule of the ego feels like being trapped in an invisible prison. You keep chasing approval, achievements, possessions, and success, thinking that they will finally fill the emptiness inside. But no matter how much you gain, the feeling of completeness remains just out of reach. The ego is never content. It thrives on more praise, more wealth, more control. And behind all that striving is a deep, unspoken fear. The fear of losing everything you've built, of being seen as nothing. That fear keeps you anxious, restless, and constantly performing to protect an image that only exists in your own mind. But freedom doesn't come from defeating the ego. It comes from seeing through it. True detachment is not about giving up your possessions or renouncing the world. That would simply be another game of the ego, this time wearing the mask of spirituality. Real detachment is internal. It's about living fully in the world without letting the world live inside of you. It's the art of enjoying what you have without being owned by it. You can hold success, but know that your worth doesn't depend on it. You can be loved deeply, but know that your identity isn't defined by another's affection or opinion. True detachment feels like breathing in fresh air after being trapped in a room too long. It's realizing that you are already whole, already enough, without needing to prove it. When you let go of the need to control outcomes, to always be right, or to protect your image, something gentle and powerful emerges. Peace begins to flow through you, a peace that doesn't depend on anything external. You stop struggling against life and start dancing with it. The people and situations that once triggered you lose their hold, because they can only hurt you when they find a hook in your ego, when there's no need to defend or prove yourself. Those provocations pass right through you like wind through open hands. One of the most effective ways to weaken the ego is through selfless service. Doing something kind for someone else without expecting anything in return. Not even a thank you. It doesn't have to be a grand act. It can be something as simple as helping a neighbor, sharing food, or listening to someone with genuine attention. The ego's nature is transactional. It always asks, what do I get out of this? Service disrupts that pattern. When you act purely out of love, you step beyond the ego's logic. You begin to feel joy that doesn't depend on reward. Joy that comes simply from giving, from seeing another soul uplifted. Through this giving, you start to reconnect with something larger than your personal story. You realize that happiness isn't something you gain through possession. It's something that flows through you when you allow love to circulate freely. As you release the grip of the ego, you discover who you truly are. You are not your job title, not your bank balance, not the story of your pain or your achievements. You are the silent awareness behind all of it, the one who observes, who feels, who exists beyond thought. You are the consciousness watching life unfold, the presence that remains unchanged through all experiences. From that place of awareness, healing begins. You start to see that your individual healing is connected to the healing of others. When you help another person find light, you strengthen your own flame. The more you give, the more you remember that you were never separate to begin with. The illusion of separation, the idea that you are an isolated being, is the ego's final illusion. In truth, we are all connected. We are like waves on the same ocean, different expressions of the same vast consciousness. When you remember this, compassion arises naturally. Compassion is not just an act of kindness. It's a recognition of unity. When you see someone suffering, you realize that their pain mirrors a part of your own. When you comfort another, you are also soothing the part of yourself that once felt that same pain. Their healing becomes your healing. Their joy becomes your joy. In the energetic universe, giving and receiving are one continuous flow. You cannot truly give without receiving, because love moves in a circle. It always returns to the one who sends it. Even modern science echoes this truth. When you perform an act of kindness or even witness one, your brain releases oxytocin, the hormone of connection and trust. This natural chemical reduces stress, strengthens your immune system, and helps the body heal. So compassion doesn't just heal others. It physically heals you. It's nature's way of showing that love is not just emotional, it's biological. When you give kindness, you are literally feeding your own health and peace. Compassion doesn't require big, heroic gestures. It lives in small, quiet moments, in the patience to listen, in the gentleness of your presence, in the smile you give to a stranger who needed to be seen. It's in the word of encouragement that lifts someone's spirit, or the silent company you offer when there are no words at all. These acts may seem small, but energetically they are immense. Each one sends a wave of healing that ripples outward, from your heart to another's, and inevitably returns to you. Compassion melts the walls of separation that the ego builds. It shifts you from me and them into we. It reminds you that everyone carries pain, fear, and longing, and that deep down, all beings want the same thing: to be seen, to be understood, to be loved. When you see yourself in others, when you recognize your own reflection in every face, your heart begins to soften. The loneliness that once haunted you fades, because you understand that you are never truly alone. Every soul you meet is another mirror, another aspect of the same divine presence. This realization brings deep healing, because it frees you from isolation and brings you back into the web of life itself. And at the heart of all of this lies the final key: trust. Trust is the highest form of surrender. It is faith in the intelligence that created you, the same intelligence that moves through your heartbeat, your breath, your cells, and every moment of your existence. You don't have to make your heart beat. You don't have to remind your lungs to breathe. A vast intelligence is already doing it for you, guiding the entire orchestra of your body in perfect harmony. That same intelligence that heals a wound on your skin or repairs a broken bone also knows how to heal the imbalances in your life: emotional, physical, and spiritual. The only thing that blocks it is the interference of your mind, your fears, your doubts, your need to control. We've been taught from childhood to look outside ourselves for answers, to doctors, teachers, governments, and systems. And while all of these can be helpful, they are not the source of your healing. The true healer has always lived within you. Every external guide is only meant to help you remember your own inner power. The teachings are not rigid rules to obey. They are reminders, tools to clear the obstacles that block your life force. Conscious breathing releases stress. Conscious thinking releases negativity. Self-love releases self-sabotage. Gratitude releases lack. Compassion releases separation. Each of these practices clears a pathway, allowing your natural energy to flow without resistance. Believing in your power to heal is not about pretending to be positive. It is about recognizing the truth of what you are. You are not a fragile creature waiting to be fixed. You are a self-healing being made of divine intelligence. You are not your body, not your thoughts, not your pain. You are the awareness that lives beneath all of it, the energy that animates it, the consciousness that observes without judgment. When you rest in that awareness, healing begins to unfold naturally, because energy follows attention. When you direct your attention to peace, peace expands. When you trust in life, life supports you. The moment you stop doubting your inner power, you begin to experience it. Healing no longer becomes something you chase. It becomes something you allow. The peace you've been searching for was never lost. It was only hidden behind layers of fear and misunderstanding. When you remember who you truly are, you return to the source of life itself. You stop trying to be the light and realize that you already are. So trust the intelligence that moves through you. Trust the love that flows through every breath. Trust the silent wisdom of your being. When you do, life becomes less of a struggle and more of a sacred dance. You are no longer a seeker trying to become whole. You are the wholeness that life has been trying to remind you of all along. You are not separate from healing, from love, or from divinity itself. You are its living expression. And when you live from that knowing, peace is no longer something to find. It becomes the atmosphere you live in.